Hey friends, it's Jessica at Pretty Prints and Paper, and it has been a little bit here, but I am here to catch you up a little bit on my process as it is today and talk about how I'm going to be using this notebook and what I'm going to be doing for this week's layout. I'm trying out a new camera which has a different microphone on it, so I'm going to see how it works. Let me know what you think down below, but let's get started. For a while, you saw me this past couple weeks, this last month, using this Passion Planner, and I really enjoyed it because it has a similar layout to what I am used to, which is that it has a weekly, and it's vertical, and I really enjoy like the reflective elements of it, but eventually it just got to be really just too big. There's a compact version that's really small, so just a little even smaller than an A5. And again, even though it saved me time in drawing out the layouts, I wondered if not taking the time to draw out my layouts and get centered on the week was actually what could have contributed to my sense of stress and overwhelm. So I think I am gonna let this go for now and transition over to yet another gold notebook and play with this Leuchtturm 1917 dot grid notebook. It is gorgeous, and the wrapping was basically in German, so let's walk through how I'm going to use this, eh? So first of all, I'm going to be drawing out my layout. And I'm taking a page out of the back and then using it as a guide so that I don't have to measure out dots and all that good stuff for ever and ever. And I will note that I did originally take a page out of my other Leuchtturm, but the dots don't line up, so actually I ended up just taking this from the back. So I'm using the Micron archival ink felt tip pen because it's waterproof, and so when I put the watercolor on here, it's not going to bleed as much or at all, hopefully. I'm going to be using the Ecoline liquid watercolor because it is my favorite right now, and I'm just using a simple round 4 brush from Artist Loft, aka at Michael's, to be doing this look with a jar of water. The key is that you don't use much water at all. So sometimes I even take the lid and use that to dab at the watercolor. So it dries pretty quickly, especially again if you don't use a lot of water on it. The dots, I'm going to have to play around with how to not do that, but on the back it wrinkles just a tiny bit. I don't know if you can kind of catch that in the light. It bends the paper just a tiny bit, but honestly nothing that I am very unhappy about. So here's where there's more water. You can catch some of like the difference there in some of the bending. But otherwise, honestly, not that bad. So what I'm going to be doing is labeling each of these sections. So my process now, after I've drawn this up, is to sit down and put in some of those things that I find important. So what I'll do is, first of all, I look at my Google Calendar because that's where most of my stuff lives, and I have another video that talks about how I use both the bullet journal and the digital calendar. So I first look at that and see, okay, there's all my meetings for work, those are pretty laid out, but then I also look at, okay, if there's meetings that I need to be prepared for, I try to go back through and block off time and then write it as a task in my bullet journal. And then what I'll also do is go in and add in my workouts. So seeing that space, I need to make sure that I prioritize my health first. I did not do that in February and I suffered for it for sure. I didn't take the time to get out of my head and into my body, which is really helpful for anxiety. And because I did that, I honestly think it contributed to me having an anxiety attack at work. So I want to make sure that I prioritize that. And from there, I can kind of see what my commitments are in the evenings so that I can think about meal planning. So what are the meals that I need to make? When does that make sense to do? When am I going to run errands then based on that? And I do that all before I even write it in here. And for this, it just is a way for me to see what are the areas that are getting my heartbeats this week, and as a snapshot of my time. But if I'm honest, I will always look at my Google Calendar for my actual events and appointments that I've made. So here is just a log. And I will leave space so that I can do a couple doodles. I'll put in the weather, and even if I just sit and write in the weather, it gives me an idea about what is going on in Minnesota weather these days. And then I will also go in and I'm going to try to do a little bit more social media planning throughout and see what I can do there. Also throughout the day, I like to log moments that I really cherish and moments that I want to remember. And I will add those into here as well, if not in my dailies. Of course, this section, these are for things that I know I need to do at some point this week. Personal, obviously, it's like, adulting things or things in my personal life, cleaning. PPP is pretty prints and paper, so that is stuff that I need to do for my blog or for custom pieces that people have ordered from me or classes I need to teach and prepare for. Work is my day job. I do teaching and training at the university, and then following up because I work in a team and knowing that there are things that I've delegated and things that are coming up that I need to circle back around and follow up on. This is, of course, not enough room for me, so I will do this, and I will also go here and do dailies. So every day I just write out the date at the top, and then I go down and use as much or as little space as I need, and then that is where all like those little tiny tasks go, and that's going to be in here. And then I will turn the page for the weekend, because that's where the weekend goes. I think I need a different kind of list for the weekend. It's a different set, a mindset for me. So I will just turn the page and do that, and then keep going. The thing about the other planners that made me miss the bullet journal, honestly, is that I couldn't just turn the page and spew my thoughts out onto the paper. And there's a lot of things going on right now where I do need some open space just to be able to jot down my thoughts and visualize, and instead of going to the back of the notebook, I just want to turn the page and integrate it into how I'm doing things. So that is my process for now, and as you can see, the watercolor turned out pretty great. So I think I'm going to do this for a while. Let me know what you think, questions down below. I'm going to try and do this with some Tombos next and see how that goes. But honestly, all of this took me about 10 minutes just to quick sketch it out, and I was even going slow. So I assure you this is something that you can do too, and I love helping people find ways to do things that are creative and artistic, but also practical, and give you some quick tips as to how to make things a little bit more pretty, but also something that you will actually use and have space for your life. So anyway, let me know what you're doing down below. I would love to hear about it, questions that you might have, and I'll try to respond. But until next time, share it, like it, subscribe, whatever. I just hope that you enjoy it. I'll see you next time. Bye.